I think it's worthy of mention.
Okay. What are you talking about?
That we're awkward people, man. I think that a lot gets lost. I'm afraid that in this world we're creating a bar that's just way too high for people to be able to, pass the test anymore. We're awkward people. Awkward attempts at interacting with somebody are often taken as insults and offensive these days, man, and that worries me. It's a trend that worries me a little bit, honestly.
I see what you're saying.
You can mixed signals happen all the time. And we are dumb. We're just dumb animals, most of us. And especially when it comes to trying to interact with the opposite sex, we don't know what the fuck we're doing half the time. We're guessing and we're unsure of ourselves. Right, exactly. I was thinking about Ann. Do you remember? I won't say her last name, but do you remember Ann from Domino's? When Scully and I first met, we used to have an evening job at a Domino's down the street from where we are right now, honestly. But do you remember Ann? I think our buddy Kevin might have dated her for a minute.
You're giving an awful lot of details.
Who cares?
Go ahead.
Fuck it is what it is. But I remember I was just about to start, going through my divorce process and all that shit. But I remember thinking very much like, this chick Ann wants to bang me. Because every time we would hug, she would literally grind her midsection on me. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever hugged anybody, a female that, like, you'd hug them and they just grind that shit? And I used to come away like, God damn, this chick is, that's a message, right? I mean, that's a signal. But I was talking to our buddy, and he was like, man, have you ever hugged Ann? And I was like, dude, yeah, she totally grinds her shit on me. She wants to fuck me. And he was like, dude, she does that to me, too. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's just what she did, I guess. You know what I mean?
That's just how she hugs?
Apparently. Well, I mean, probably, I don't know if she did chicks also, but.
Yeah, I don't remember hugging her like that. So
yeah,
I guess I don't really remember hugging her, though. So.
Well,
her hugs didn't stand out to me. So.
I still remember them because she would grind that shit, man,
That's so weird.
But it's funny. It
what
brings.
Makes you do that motion while you're hugging not a stranger, because you're not strangers.
No,
but
I knew her, but yeah.
Right, like.
Well, and again, I very much came away thinking that is a sign, man. That's a fucking signal. This chick is trying to tell me something here. You know what I mean? That's fucking.
Right.
That's
Make
a clear.
Move and it's
right. It's golden.
Right,
the gates are open, baby.
Right.
Now, granted, I never pursued it. I was getting a divorce, and then shortly after that, you and I started hanging out and stuff, but.
Yeah.
But I do remember thinking it stands out to me as just a really good example of mixed messages, though. I definitely was, if she's hugging everybody like that, obviously it wasn't me. You know what I mean? But I was walking around for probably 2 weeks.
But how many people have probably come on to her?
That shit is mine if I want that, son.
Yeah.
But right, I guarantee
have come on
do.
to her in a way that she's like, God, what the fuck?
I know.
Dudes are just fucking creepy, man.
Why won't he leave me alone? Because you grinded your coonch on him. That's why. That's why.
Oh, that's so funny.
But that's just one example of many that I'm sure people have out there. That it's a tough thing to navigate, even if you're sure of yourself. Which, I'll be honest, I've always been somewhat cocky, a little confident. I always felt like that in itself was kind of a thing. You know what I mean? That if you were confident, it went over well, and it served me well most of my life. But I get, even as cocky and confident as you are in your moments alone, you're unsure. You're you know what I mean? You second guess things. You fucking. It's a tough thing to navigate. Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I just wonder going forward, what are we looking at here, man? It's going to be like. People are going to need signed affidavits to go on dates, and people are, you know what I mean? I notice now there's a trend even where if somebody's going home with somebody, they're going to have sex. A lot of guys apparently are making a little video thing like, hey, man, you're here, and willingly, right? Like, this is a consenting situation. And
ridiculous.
Getting the girl saying, yes, it is. And, man, it's ridiculous to have to do that, but you're a fucking genius. If you have any doubt, fucking do that, man. Do that shit.
If you have any doubt, don't go out with them. Go find somebody else.
Oh, baby. We're talking about our genitalia. Trust is not required to fuck.
Yeah, but the thing is, a video
even.
does not mean that she didn't change her mind at some point in there. You're not covered with that. If you have somebody that you do not trust in a way that you have to make a video, move on.
I mean, that's good advice. Nobody's ever going to take your advice there, Scully. I mean, I agree with you. That is good advice. But if someone's dick is hard and there's a chick in the room, he's not going to be like, yeah, you got to leave because... I don't trust you. They're going to take a chance, man. It's the way we do things. Look at what people give up and sacrifice for weird, deviant sexual behavior. Think about that one for a minute. We should do an episode on that. Some of the stories that people have just, their sexual, addictions. And that's what they are really at the end of the day. They're addictions, just like any other addiction. Some people are addicted to wearing women's panties. Some people are addicted to, bondage porn or whatever the fuck, you know. And it is an addiction. It comes back to what we talked about earlier in the show, man, where there's, you know, the mentality behind it. We should delve into that on a future show. What do you think? So
Sounds good.
anyway, I thought that was worthy of mention, and I feel for you younger generations when it comes to that, man. I really do. I don't know how the fuck you're going to navigate dating and all that shit in the coming years. Good luck. Stay with me, Scully. Never make me have to do that shit ever again, would you?
I know, right?